Welcome to this special yoga class. This sequence is designed to help relieve menstrual cramping. I found these poses to be helpful, very helpful. So I thought I'd share them with you. I'm using my bed as my yoga mat today because when you're feeling crampy, you don't really necessarily want to crawl on the floor. You're welcome to get your yoga mat and do the sequence on the floor though, but this is a very gentle sequence. I've got a couple yoga blocks that'll be helpful if you have them, and I've got a yoga belt, a yoga strap that will be helpful if you have it. There's some controversy among yoga teachers on whether you should do inversions or not as part of a menstrual yoga practice. I'd encourage you to do your own research on that. They don't bother me, but they might bother you. So do your own research and decide whether you want to do inversions or not. Any of the poses, if they don't help, if they don't feel good, don't do them. Just pick something else to do. There's enough variety in this sequence that you should be able to find something else to do if a certain pose is bothering you. So like all of the sequences that I do, listen to your body. Do what feels good to you rather than listening to me. Unfortunately, because of daylight savings time, I think the light might start going down during this time together, but I've got another light behind me, so hopefully you'll still be able to see. We're going to start just in a seated position and do a little bit of breathing. So just close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths. Try to move the breath in and out through your nose if it's comfortable. Slow, steady breathing. Good. Now we're going to come into a low squat. I'm going to grab a block to sit on. Bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Turn your toes out a little bit. Scooch back. Go. You can sit on the block. Put your hands together at your heart and use your elbows to push your knees out. Your spine to be long, pulling the crown of your head up. And here, if you'd like, you can take some deep breaths with your eyes closed, or you can leave your eyes open. You can allow your attention to remain focused on your breath, or you can let your mind wander. Most of these poses today we will hold for quite a while, which will give you an opportunity to connect to your breath or let your thoughts go. Good. Coming off your block and sitting down on the ground, bed. You can sit with your legs crossed. We're going to do a seated twist. Or if you'd like, you can take your left leg, your left ankle, and put it behind your right knee. You can also put it right here in front. If it's not accessible to put it behind your knee, then we're going to take the right arm, take the elbow, and twist yourself to the left. So you're pulling back your left leg back toward your chest while you're twisting. Actually might feel a little bit better just to hold on to your leg if you're don't have quite as much space. Any of those variations are fine. Try to grow long and tall through the inhale and let yourself twist on the exhale even deeper. Release. Now we're going to put the right ankle behind the left knee. And again, let's start with hugging your right leg with your left arm and twisting around to the right. Again, if you've got more space and you want to hook your elbow behind your knee, you're welcome to do that, and you're also welcome to keep your ankle in front of your knee. Again, feel yourself growing tall on the inhale and relax into the twist on the exhale. And release. Good. And we're going to go ahead and move into a child's pose. So bringing your big toes together, spreading your knees out wide, sitting back on your hips, walking your hands forward, letting your head rest. You're always welcome to take a block and set it underneath your forehead if that feels more comfortable, or to put your hands alongside your legs. If you're on a bed, you might have trouble breathing in this pose. You can always turn your head to one side for a little bit. You can turn your head facing the other direction. Or if you've got space, you can let your forehead lay directly on the bed or the mat or the ground. And walk your hands forward, bring your knees shoulder width apart, and we're going to move into cat-cow. So starting in tabletop, you want your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And we're going to do these slowly but with the breath, so try to take nice long deep breaths. Inhale, scoop the chest forward, lift your chin, drop your belly. And exhale, pull your belly up to your spine, release your shoulders forward, tuck your pelvis. Inhaling, lifting the chest and the chin, dropping the belly, and exhaling. So move through a few of these at the rhythm of your own breathing, but try to breathe and move slowly. Let's do one more in each direction. Good. All right. We're going to move now into hero pose. So we're going to bring our feet a little bit wider than hips width, so our heels are on the outside of our hips. If this position doesn't feel good on your knees, you can put a blanket underneath your knees to give yourself a little bit more space, or you can skip it altogether, maybe go back to child's pose. So for hero pose, I'm going to scooch forward, but you've got some options for some variations. You can stay in the regular hero pose right here, or if you'd like, you can lean back. You can go as far back as you want. You can lay flat on the bed. That hurts my lower back, so I don't go flat out, but if you'd like, you can put some blocks or pillows behind you and lean part of the way back. Keep your spine as long as you can, whatever variation you choose, and keep breathing. Good. If you're reclined, go ahead and come back up. We're going to move now into camel pose or baby camel pose. You can tuck your toes, leave your legs about hip width apart. Start sitting back on the heels. We'll start in baby camel, so put our hands on the small of our back. Lift the chest up and sit up. So pull the chest up and forward. You can stay right here in baby camel, or if you'd like, you can reach back, grab your heels. But again, make sure you're not collapsing down or going back like this. You want to keep that chest pulling forward. You can lightly lift your chin. Move your hips forward while lifting your chest up. The majority of this back bend, we want to be in our upper back. We also want to get a little bit of a stretch through your thighs. Good, and come up. Good, now we're going to spread your knees wider. Spread them as far out as you can. Maybe that's just a little bit more. Maybe that's a lot bit more. I'm going to turn so you can see me better. I'm going to move into frog pose. So bringing your knees as far as you can and then lining your heels with your knees, walking your hands forward and clasping your hands together. Lift your lower belly so that it's not drooping. Feel a nice stretch in your hips and in your inner thighs. And again, we'll stay here for several breaths, so feel free to close your eyes and connect with your breathing. As much as possible, you want to keep your hips in line with your knees and not let them fall back too much, but find a position that feels comfortable. Good. Walk your hands back underneath you. Pull your knees closer together. I'm going to turn back to the side so you can see me again. And from here, we're going to push into a gentle downward facing dog. So especially if you're on a bed, you might need to shorten your stance a little bit. Lift your hips up and back. Press down through your hands. You might actually be able to feel your heels on the ground if you're working on a cushion, like a mattress. Feel free to bend your knees if you need to. If you'd like to pedal your feet from side to side, you're welcome to do that. This is one of those inversions that if you'd like to opt out of it, you're always welcome to drop down into child's pose or another pose that feels good in your body today. A couple more breaths. And from here, we'll move forward into plank. Bring the right knee forward so it's on the the right foot forward so it's on the outside of your right hand. Drop the left leg, and then if you'd like to, you can go back down on your elbows. Interlace your hands. We'll sit in a modified lizard pose. And you're also welcome to be up on your hands if going down on your elbows is not accessible. Either option is fine. Good. Bring your right leg back and bring your left hand to the outside of your left arm, or your left foot on the outside of your left hand. There we go. And again, you can stay here. If you'd like, you can drop down to your elbows, whichever variation is feeling better for you today. Good. And now we'll move from here into a sleeping pigeon pose. So we'll bring the right knee forward, straighten your left leg. Your left ankle can be close to your left hip, or you can bring it out in alignment with your knee. Anywhere in between there is fine. And you can stay here, or if you want to move into the sleeping variation, you can rest your head on your hands, and rest in sleeping pigeon. Good. Back up into your arms, bring your right leg back, and now bring your left knee up. So you're moving your left knee up toward your right wrist, or your left wrist, sorry. Straighten the right leg, and then the left heel can either be next to your right hip, or you can bring it out straight in line with your left knee and anywhere in between. And again, you can stay up, or if you'd like, you can walk your hands forward, cross your hands to create a little bed for your forehead, and rest. Good. Come back up onto your hands. We're going to move into a couple of back bends on your stomach. So you can go ahead and drop to your stomach. I'm going to give you a couple different options. First, you can do Sphinx pose, putting your elbows directly under your shoulders and your hands straight out in front of you. Bringing your chest forward to create a back bend in your upper back. And you can stay right here. You can also walk your hands to where your elbows are and press all the way up into high cobra. Again, making sure you're not feeling any pain in your lower back, pulling the chest forward and pulling your lower belly up. And if you're more flexible in your back and you'd like to move into bow pose, come back down, put your hands back behind you, lift up, bend your legs, and grab your ankles with your hands and pull up. Pulling your feet away from your hands, keeping your lower belly engaged. You should feel a nice stretch through your thighs and a little bit of a back bend. Any of those back bends that you would like to stay in. Let's take a few more deep breaths. Good. Go ahead and roll over onto your back. We're going to move into bridge pose. We're going to do a supported bridge pose. So if you've got blocks or a few blankets or pillows that you can stack together, and we'll bring the knees in so that your hands can just barely tickle your heels, feet shoulder width apart. We're going to lift the hips up, and since this is a supportive back bend, you're going to stick a block or a blanket or a pillow underneath the small of your back. This is a little bit more challenging to get into on your bed, but it still works. Good. So you want this to be on the small of your back, just below your hip bones. My hip bones are here. You want just a little bit lower than that. If you'd like, you can interlace your hands behind your back, or you can just let your hands fall. And just take some breaths here in supported bridge pose. Continue to connect to your breathing, or provide a safe spot for your mind to wander, allowing your thoughts to go where they will, watching them as they go. Noticing what's on your mind without any judgment. Go ahead and root down through your heels, lift your hips, and move your block or pillows or whatever you have out of the way. Good. All right. Oh, don't move them too far. We're going to do fish pose next. So for fish pose, you can use a pillow, a couple pillows, or you can use a couple yoga blocks like this. And we're going to scooch back toward the blocks and allow our shoulders and our head to rest on the blocks. This is just a little bit of a back opener, chest opener, back bend. If you want to feel this a little bit more deeply, you can do it on the floor. If you're wanting a really gentle chest opener and back bend, a soft surface like a mattress is just fine. Let your hands fall to the side. Straighten your legs. You don't want the blocks to be too far down your back. You just want them to be at your upper back and to support your head. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can do just one block and just have that block support your upper back. Let your head fall back. You can also roll up a blanket and set it underneath your shoulders, your upper back. If you don't have blocks, or if you want to go a little bit deeper than you might be able to with a pillow. Aiming to put the roll right underneath the bottoms of your shoulder blades. Good. All right, now we can move the blocks out of the way. And we'll go into a wind release. So laying back, we'll bring the right leg in for a few breaths. Switch sides, bringing your left leg into your chest. Go ahead and bring both knees in and move into happy baby pose. You can either just spread your legs and hold on to the back of your legs behind your knees, or you can put your hands on the outside of your feet and pull your knees toward the ground on either side of your body. You can do a little gentle rocking back and forth if that feels good in your hips. Or make circles with your knees. Let your lower back stay on the ground. Good. And release, and we'll move into a reclined pigeon pose. We did sleeping pigeon, and now we'll do reclined pigeon. It's also known as eye of the needle. You can cross your right ankle over your left leg. You can stay right here, or if you want to interlace your hands behind your left leg, you can pull it into your chest and move your right knee away from you. Keep your feet flexed, that'll protect your knee joint. Good, and switch side, crossing your left leg over your right knee. And again, you can either put some gentle pressure on your left leg or pull your right knee into your chest while bringing your left knee away from you. And release. Good. We're going to sit up and move into bound ankle pose. So bringing your toes, bottoms of your feet together. You can bring your legs in close to your sitting bones, or you can move them away wherever is feeling good. Lift up and grow tall, and then allow yourself to come forward with a flat back, and then you can round forward. And continue to breathe. If you'd like to, you can even rest your forehead on a block. Good. Come up. And we'll keep the left leg in and bring the right leg out to about a 45-degree angle. And then we'll turn to face our leg. And you can use a strap if you have one, especially if you can't quite reach your foot. And keeping your spine as long as you can. Lean forward towards your right toes. Again, sitting on a mattress allows you to soften into this, allows your right leg to bend a little bit. If you can reach your foot, you can interlace your hands behind your foot. You can also just put your hands in front of you. Good. Go ahead and switch sides. Put the strap around your left foot. Again, turn your body toward your knee, and you can come forward as far as you can with a relatively flat back. You might find that after a couple breaths, you can interlace your hands around your foot, or you might just want to keep your hands on the strap. Continue to breathe. Good. And come up, and we'll do one last seated forward fold. Again, you can use the strap if you have one. If not, in this one, again, it'll be nice to be able to keep your legs a little bit bent. You can walk your hands forward if you don't have a strap. If you can reach your feet, you can grab the bottom of your feet. Or if you've got a strap, you can use a strap. You might find with your legs bent, it's a little bit easier to grab the bottoms of your feet, or you might not. Either way is just fine. Again, trying to create some length to your spine. You don't want to be completely rounded, but it's okay if you're not completely flat backed. Good. And release. We'll do a couple more reclined poses before we move into our resting pose. So we'll start with a reclined spinal twist, putting your hands out to the side, lifting your left knee and letting it fall to the right, keeping your left shoulder on the ground, and you can put your hand on your right knee if you'd like. If you've got a block and you'd like to put it underneath your knee, you're welcome to do that so that you can relax more into the twist. Good. Switch sides, letting your right leg fall to the left, keeping your right shoulder heavy. Feeling free to put a block underneath your right knee. We'll do reclined bound angle. So if you've got those blocks or pillows handy, you can bring the bottoms of your feet together and rest your knees on pillows or blocks. You can also do it without, if that feels alright. Whatever's feeling okay. And you can rest your hands on your belly, feel your breath, or you can extend your hands with your palms up. And we'll breathe for a couple minutes here. And then you can stay in this pose, or I'll give you one other option. If you have your hands on your belly, you can feel the gentle rising and falling as the breath comes in and moves out. And if you're feeling good here and you want to stay, you're welcome to. Or if you don't want to do any inversions, you're welcome to stay here. But if you'd like, you can move into legs up the wall pose. If you've got a rubber band or something that you can use to hold your big toes together, that might help you relax a little bit more in legs up the wall pose. But for legs up the wall, we're going to move our right hip as close to the wall as we can, and then we'll lay back, extend the legs up, and turn so that our hips are as close to the wall as possible. Another option here, if you don't want to have your legs straight up, is you can go back into that bound angle. And it might be helpful to wrap a rubber band or something around your toes so that you don't have to use any muscles to hold them together. And again, you can rest your hands on your belly, or you can put your hands open. And continue to breathe. And we're going to go ahead and take some slow breaths, breathing a full deep inhale, and then extending the exhale out as long as you can, releasing the air slowly feeling your belly fall if you have your hands on your stomach, letting the air flow as slowly as feels comfortable. And then when you reach the bottom of your exhale, you can pause for a moment and then take another full, complete inhale. And a slow, long exhale. And you can continue to breathe in this way for as long as feels comfortable. And if at any time you want to return to your natural breathing, you're always welcome to do so. And now bring your awareness back to your body. You can gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feel the ground or the mattress beneath you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. If you've got your legs up the wall, go ahead and bend one leg and then the other, and then gently roll over onto your left side and use your hands to help move yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. I hope you found this practice today helpful. If there were particular poses that you got a lot of relief from, I would recommend writing those down and trying those poses for maybe 5 or 10 minutes at a time, maybe just doing 4 or 5 of the poses that really helped you the most. So thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful day.